Hello and welcome to the Final Bell, the official Geelong Cats podcast. It is great to have you with us again this week. We are brought to you by Lake Imaging. Thank you for their support throughout this season. It was great to be back last week. We had lots of nice feedback. Lots of our lovely listeners loved hearing from me, maybe not so much from Scotty, who they're just talking his usual amount of dribble. No, Scotty, on a serious note, it was great to be back and great to have you back again this week.
Great to get a call up for the 2 weeks in a row, Cameron.
Scotland, it was a good win Friday night.
It was a very good win.
We're going to talk about that very, very soon, but I just wanted to let you know. I'm not sure how much prep you do for this, but did you see in our notes that we will be talking with Amy McDonald, best and fairest winner for the AFLW? I did see that. I'm
very excited about that.
But I feel like this one is going to please you greatly. Brad Close.
I've waited for this day.
Number 45 for the Cats is going to have a chat with us a little bit later on.
This is a moment of radio history. I'm bringing together two people who, unfortunately, for reasons we're not fully aware of, haven't really bonded or crossed paths.
We hope to put that myth to bed a bit later on when we talk with Brad.
Brad Close and Cameron Ling sitting down. This is one for the ages. Finally, I think he's part of the academy. I'm going to ask him all these.
You only found out about the academy last week.
I'm still obsessed by it.
Don't pretend you know what you're talking about.
But this is exciting. The 245s.
He was very good again.
He's elite level. He keeps kicking goals. He's smooth. We talked about this. We love him, and he's going to be here very soon.
He is. Let's talk Friday night footy. Cats against the Lions. It was an intense game.
Well, let me take me through your mindset. Were you working behind the glove?
Yes, I was.
So when your phone went beep beep, Tom Stewart's out. You love Tom Stewart as more than anyone.
my stomach did sink a little, I'll be honest.
And his stomach wasn't great. He was out with gastro. No. But so that clearly adds to what we then saw the 2 hours after that. But Tom Stewart out against Brisbane.
And Joel Selwood already out.
Correct.
The alarm went off because Tom Stewart is a brilliant player and so crucial to that back line. But the leadership aspect, he's the heir apparent to Joel Selwood from everything I hear. The captaincy, terrific leader, etc., in what was bound to be a close, hard-fought game against a really quality opposition. I thought, no Joel, no Tom. Oh, how's this going to go? And I thought, yes, McStay at times looked dangerous. Right. Yes, Danaher looked dangerous at times. I thought that back line held together beautifully, and especially in the crucial moments in that last quarter, there was a calmness about them, which, given Stewart was missing, I thought it was excellent.
Well, you talk about leadership, Isaac Smith. That's half the reason he came to this football club. People are like, why are you recruiting 30-odd-year-old? Well, we saw why.
Yeah.
He was outstanding, 29 touches, running everywhere. And Danger, he was the acting captain. Danger's... Again, his moments. I like that his disposal count's down. Well, I actually like that. It sounds silly.
Danger's an interesting one from Friday night. When it's almost, he was so brave at times. He was launching himself into packs and just so desperate. He was almost becoming too desperate.
Yes.
And just on his knees, just trying to rip the ball out. When you try too hard, you become tight with the way you play. And it wasn't his effective best game, but it was just a real workmanlike game where he was so strong. And he just a couple of times in his desperation, he didn't get a possession, but it spilt out, and the next person cleaned it up, and away they went again.
But I thought we got to see the ball movement again. I mean, Hawke was the benefit, kicked 5. Jeremy Cameron, it just looks so good up there, close. Everyone, the Tomahawk has hogged the headlines. It was a push in the back.
Yeah, it was a push in the back. No worries.
But the world's not going to end on that one decision. There were several missed ones both ways. So before they claim, because there was a conspiracy, Brisbane did get robbed 12 months ago here.
That one was, yes, I agree with that 12 months ago, and I agree that that's a push in the back. One thing can I say, I don't think you can't hang Tom Hawkins for pushing in the back. Forwards play right to that line every single time. They give a little nudge or they give a little tug and just to get around to get a better body positioning. If the umpire pays it, bad luck. If the umpire doesn't pay it, well, fantastic. They might get a goal. It's the same, not even with free kicks. They roll the dice to push forward when, it's a 50-50 ball. If it squirts out the other way, I might be caught out of position. But if it squirts out our way, I'll kick a goal here. That's the life of a forward. So no worries with Tom Hawkins. I thought there were some missed free kicks all night.
Of course there were.
But in a close game and and it was an intense game and the ball was pinging around everywhere, umpires are going to make blues.
And we should have hats off to Graham Myers. Comes back, 25 touches. He's that link man. He plays that role well. And now we've got Stengel and Close, and Dalhouse, who was rejuvenated after his heroics the week before. It's just a really nice mix that they've got at the moment.
Yeah, and Grind's an interesting one because I thought Grind had some really shaky moments. I spoke about it on radio in the early parts of the game as he was getting back into intense AFL football. But he didn't stick his head in the sand and think, oh no, I've made a couple of pretty ordinary blues there and haven't done what the team needed me to do. His last quarter was huge, and his running power and his ability to finish off the game was massive for them in that last term. And then you throw in, when you think disposals and a good Cats win against the Brisbane Lions, you're probably thinking Dangerfield's had 32, and you're thinking Mitch Duncan's probably had 32, and you're thinking Cameron Guthrie's probably had 28 possessions. It wasn't the case. It was shared so well across other players, which is what I think we've been crying out for a long time, is share that load. Don't rely on Joel and Paddy and Mitch and these players every single time.
It's a great way when you look at this sheet in front of us. It is legitimately no one over 30 and everyone in double figures apart from 2, and one of them was the sub. It was I know we like good old-fashioned team effort, but it was a game that I wasn't worried about at all. I mean, Brisbane are a great team, but the way it was being played, it was close, but Geelong seemed to have a handle on it the whole time. That often happens down here. You just have a feeling that it was a good win. Good quality, classy win.
It was. I agree. Quinton Narkle, the only...
Yeah, poor old Sparkle. He's one of my men. He's on my list. He comes in and he looks great now. Ankle and I haven't... It looked a bit syndesmosis, which is... Now apparently every rolled ankle is syndesmosis. Didn't look great. He was in a moon boot.
It's the force with which that the players tackle now.
Yeah.
Anyone, I cringe when people start saying, the game's got soft, soft.
That's ridiculous.
Players are better conditioned than ever. They are moving at a quicker speed through the contest and in the contest than ever, and they are tackling with a greater ferocity. Now, that doesn't necessarily... A ferocious tackle doesn't mean they're dumped to the ground and head smashing the ground, but they're still moving through at such a speed that you end up not just with your token rolled ankle, little lateral roll, like lots of people have had over the years. You're ending up with your body, the force going through that ankle joint and getting a twist and everything, that it is becoming more serious. The syndesmosis is basically a splitting of the tibia and fibula at the ankle joint. And
it's impressive.
As you roll and turn, is a vicious amount of force going through the players' bodies. So that's why they're becoming more and more serious and more common.
It's a concern. So hopefully Sparkle's okay. But after the issues of the weekend, the stand 50-metre penalty has been highlighted. I hate it.
So do I.
Because players are rorting it, which is hats off to them. That's part of the game. But I've always said 50 metres is too much. It's just ridiculous. If you're going to try... I like the rule because it's helped ball flow and I get all that. But when you're doing tricks that are just ending up in goals, and guys are flinching half a centimetre, they're not running off the mark to, interact in the play. Umpire, it's got to... I mean, again, we're already in the season. They're going to change it. But 50 metres is ridiculous.
And players are so smart. The one with the ball knows that to fake a handball but don't move your feet means you can't be called for play on because you're not stepping off your line. But the man on the mark and they often do it, half a metre away from the man on the mark. Yeah. It's a natural reflex to
twitch,
step to cover.
It's ruining games. Yeah. It's going to ruin big games.
But you'd be foolish, while it's a rule, you'd be foolish not to try
I agree.
As the person with the ball.
Why don't we just do 15 metres, 25 metres? Just the whole 50 thing is insane. That's the problem.
But once you start a season with that, you can't
I
change
know,
it, can you?
I know. But I'm glad it's been highlighted because I've hated the rule. I like the rule because it's what it's done to the game flow, but the trickery around it. And then, there's been a couple. The umpire's version of running through the protected area is a bit out of control as well.
No, but that is just completely inconsistent because I see 15 other examples around where somebody runs through the protected area and but then the one just
who hasn't even
it's
McRae at the end of that game 2 weeks ago. I mean, the Bulldogs, he was running away looking. He wasn't even looking at the bloke who had the ball. Had no intention. He wasn't in his vision. And the umpire's called. It's just like, what are you doing?
That's
my
have something
rant.
to do with the Bulldogs, though, didn't it?
Sorry, I had to get that up.
What the Bulldogs goal kicking? You got any solutions?
There's a few technical hitches there, but that's okay. They'll find a way. I knew Richmond would do that. Dion Prestia back. Suddenly they look better.
Oh, he's a good player. He's so important to them. I want to look ahead too before we
Can't we just get Brad on?
No, you've got to wait.
I'm waiting for him to come
Amy
in the
McDonald's going to join us next after the break,
Well
and
done,
then
Amy.
we're going to have Brad on.
Okay.
We've got to fit it around the training schedules and everything like that. Easter Monday coming up.
Oh, it's one of your favourite days.
It's still one of the games. I am happily retired. I am peaceful and content, except I love Easter. You know, there's bells, comps on. There's a beautiful feel in the air. It's a great time of
Stall
the year.
gift.
Stall
Where
gift.
I'll
Will you?
Yeah, I'm always there every year.
My wife Nicole from Stall, and she takes the kids back to Stall every single year for
So
that.
I'll be able to sit with her and watch the gift.
I might have to after work on Saturday drive there and come and say good day.
No, I'm a Monday only person now.
I've
matured. I used to be there for 4-day bender, but I've
only
matured.
for the final for Scotty.
I've matured.
The build up to that Easter Monday clash, that's still one where I'm like, no, you got to win this one. This is the tension builds within my own preparation. I got nothing to do with anything. And Hawthorn, after a really good start to the year, were blown open by St Kilda on Sunday at the MCG.
Bubble burst.
Well, or a little recalibration and they come back and they're better
burst.
again. Or Geelong spots something that they can exploit and perhaps open up.
We liked Hawthorn initially. Yeah, they run from defence. They're a transition team, which we love.
CJ and Sicily and these guys.
They like it. But I think the Cats will be across that.
Will Day won't play for Hawthorn after that concussion.
Paddy Ryder had to get 2 weeks. That's been a bit of conjecture, but
I thought he might have got one, but 2's fine.
look, I liked how quickly a player's now apologising. It's like, sorry, mate.
Sorry. Hope that gets a week off.
Nathan Buckley, I didn't catch. He was sort of blaming Day. Day had his head down kicking the ball and then looked up and there was... he looked down to do the kick properly.
Yeah.
I thought it's a bit harsh on...
I think Nathan's saying...
How could he didn't even have time to protect himself.
I don't know if that was the greatest example to get the point that Bucks is trying to make.
I agree with his point normally, but not this one.
Yeah, I think Bucks is saying there has to be some responsibility on
the
player who's about to be bumped to learn to protect themselves and turn their body.
But this kid didn't. He was kicking the ball.
No, I agree.
I think that was a bad example. I agree with Bucks because guys just leading with their heads and
leading with the head. I coach an under-10s team this year, Scotland.
How's that going?
Son Max's
Are you 1-0
team.
yet? 2-0.
Actually,
you got beaten.
The first game I couldn't coach because it was a Friday night game. I had to work, and we won. My first coaching gig on the weekend, we lost.
Oh no!
So the board's already, I think, getting together, perhaps asking for my resignation. Two games into the season. We ran into a very good Torquay team. They took us
Magnus, you didn't move them, didn't make the right moves.
I've got some moves to make. I mean, the boys will do they'll just do repeat 400s all week this week and bring your mouth guards to training, boys. No, but I teach the under 10s, just turn your body, protect your head. If the ball's there on the ground, do not lead with your head.
Yeah.
You'll get knocked out. You'll get neck injuries. So at that age, I'm teaching, turn your body and protect. Too many times we see at AFL level, players think, oh, I can get something here, and charging forward with their head. There's got to be some responsibility on the player who's down, if he can, turn and protect. Yeah. I see another bad accident happening.
I know.
With that sort of thing.
Fingers crossed.
That's another thing. Easter Monday, Joel Selwood comes back, we assume.
Joel Selwood will come back. Sparkle Narkle out. And then Tom Stewart will come back, obviously.
Who are you dropping from there?
Oh, well, Zach Guthrie was the sub.
Yeah, so
he'll make way, but then you've got to make way with someone else. Because as you've mentioned, it was a very complete performance.
Can I give you one that maybe they revert back to almost a Collingwood-style lineup, which would push Joel in,
yes,
Narkle out,
yes,
Stewart in, Guthrie out altogether, and Dalhouse goes back to that really effective role he played for Collingwood as the sub and have a high-impact game.
You've done that but apparently the rule is he's not supposed to come in unless there's an injury, Cameron.
Wow, that's
right. So you
right.
can't say he's an impact player.
No, he may not have an impact, but he may if there happens to be a little.
No, I think yes, the side will definitely be strengthened with the two guns back.
Sav, do we know? You're usually got your ear to the ground, all things Cats.
Hawthorn's ruck division isn't at its strongest, so I don't think...
I saw Ben McAvoy on Sunday wearing the big neck brace.
Terrible training accident.
Yeah.
So they got young Reeves. He's a very tall individual, but very raw. So
I felt for Ned Reeves on Sunday. He got worked over by Paddy Ryder and Rowan Marshall. That's quite a combination.
Well, they're nearly the best two, double act in the comp. So Ned won't know what day it is. So I think they'll probably give Asava more time to get over his injury.
Okay, there you go. All right, it'll be a great game.
Is he here yet?
No, he's not. He's not coming for another, I reckon, 15 minutes.
All right. Get Amy.
Hold your horses.
Amy anyway.
Yes,
best
and fairest winner, back-to-back best and fairest winner in the AFLW. Amy McDonald is going to join us.
And then who's after that?
Then Closey. All right, hold on. Welcome back. It is fantastic having you with us on to the final bell, brought to you by Lake Imaging. Big news last Saturday night, Scotty. The AFLW Geelong Cats best and fairest was held, was counted, and was won by back-to-back winner now, I can gladly say, Amy McDonald, and she joins us on the podcast. Amy, welcome and congratulations.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Was it a great night? Fantastic night with the teammates?
Yeah, it was always nice getting out with the girls and being able to celebrate after the year. So, yeah, we had lots of fun.
Now a back-to-back best and fairest winner. I suppose it's a bit harsh to say rate your season, which one was better out of the two, but did you feel this year just even a greater comfort level in the way you understand the game and the way that you can influence the game and influence teammates? Or was it another level again?
Yeah, definitely have a greater comfort heading into this year. Just spending more time with the girls, getting more games into all of us, and as well as developing my own game and my own craft as well gives you confidence within yourself. So, and every year the girls are stepping up as well. So there's so much pressure that you have to go with them because the competition and our team are both heading up.
Take us through the count, Amy. Because the top three sort of cleared out from the rest. You obviously Rebecca Webster third and Maddie McMahon. Rebecca's second, Maddie third, but then there was a big gap. What was it like? Did you think you had it tied up, or was it dramatic last votes called?
No, I knew it was going to be very tight between the three of us at the top, and it could have gone anyway. I think after the first 3 rounds, I think Mads was sitting at the top, and I think midway through there was only a vote or two between us. So yeah, had no idea which way it was going to fall. And when Dan was up on stage just announcing third and second, I think once Becky was called out at second, that's when I knew I'd had it, but it could have gone to any of us.
Well, just a quick, before you ask your next question, Scotty, for our listeners, Amy won with 116 votes, 13 ahead of Becky Webster, 103, and Maddie McMahon at 102. To rounding out the top 10, just quickly, Nina Morrison, Chloe Shear, Georgie Pressbarkis, Chantel Emonson, Megan McDonald, Kate Darby, and Darcy Maloney was the top 10 for the Cats in the best and fairest.
I mean, as you mentioned, new coach this year just gone. The team improved again, and now we've got this crazy trade month that's happening. It's already started to go ballistic. What's that going to be like? And then expansion clubs. I mean, you're going to have a head start on them. It's going to be an interesting. And then, of course, we've got August start. So there's a lot going on in your world.
There is. Interesting's definitely the word for it, but I'm just loving back and sitting back and watching, particularly the trade. It's so interesting to see where players are going and who's staying. So yeah, it's quite enjoyable to just sit back and watch it all unfold, to be honest.
What about the August start? There's been a lot made of it. I mean, I know why the AFL wants to do it. They want to find you a home, and I don't think summer really worked. It lost a bit of momentum. Are you happy with it, or are you concerned about the short break?
Look, I'm happy with it. I think we're all just itching to get back out there and go again. We just want to play footy. So whenever they're willing to get us started, we're ready to go. But I think as well, it'll work great. A bit better balance, having Christmas, New Year break and not playing over those hotter months. But yeah, we're ready to go whenever they want to start. So whatever they lock in, we'll be there.
This is the season for a bit of that short-term pain, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree with
gain.
it. It's a good thought.
Can we go back to the potential trades and the 4 new teams? Hopefully the Cats don't lose anyone, and we've just got to check. We're not losing you, are we, Amy? That's number one priority.
No, still be in the groups.
Good, excellent.
This is our franchise. We're not letting that go.
Just had to tick that one off. But the possible, do we call it romantic story? Does Erin Phillips end up finishing her career at
I thought you were going to say she's come to Geelong.
No. That would be quite a story. I'd be happy to say that. At Port Adelaide. Any inkling? What are your thoughts? Obviously, her dad, Greg, 343 games for Port Adelaide, an AFL Hall of Fame member, 8 premierships at Port. Not a bad little effort. Do you reckon? What's your thoughts, Amy? Does Erin finish in Port Adelaide?
If she wants to come to Geelong, I'm sure the doors are open. I personally feel Port Adelaide will be where she goes. I have no idea or anything like that, but I think, yeah, for the fairy tale finish, it all makes sense. And she's done her job at Adelaide now. She's created a really good base for them to continue building on. So I personally can see her heading off to Port.
Now, Maddie Prespakis going to Essendon is the big news. But you play with Georgie in her first year, and she looks like a gun like her older sister.
Yeah, absolutely. Georgie's an amazing player, and it was only her first year. So every year and every game that she has in the competition, she's going to continue to grow. So I think there's definitely big things ahead for Georgie.
Well, I hope she doesn't barrack for Essendon as passionately as her sister. Please tell me she doesn't.
No, I've been in her ear a fair bit, to be honest. But she has grown up a Bombers supporter as well, but hopefully not quite as passionately as Maddie.
And do you just cajole Kate Darby to come back again for another season with the short turnaround? The fitness will still be there by August. She'll be fine.
I personally think all the girls, they all should get another year out of them now, because there is a short turnaround, so the bodies don't need to hold together for quite as long. So, yeah, I think all the girls that are on the mature end of the list should definitely be able to pop one more season out.
Did you watch the grand final on the weekend? I know that's ultimately where the Cats want to be and playing in that massive game. Did you tune in and give us some thoughts on it?
Yeah, I did. I was actually driving to Geelong, but Mum was driving, so I was watching it on my phone. And yeah, I think Adelaide definitely set the benchmark. Their pressure and winning the contested ball really set the tone for the day, but ultimately that's where we'd love to end up. So hopefully in the future years, Geelong can get themselves in a grand final.
It's remarkable, isn't it, how dominant Adelaide and probably Brisbane have been across the competition. They're clearly doing something just a little bit better than the rest of the competition. And obviously that's the challenge for the Cats, to find that key ingredient as well.
Yeah, it was a funny game, and Melbourne they didn't really get going until third quarter, I think, Amy. And then, the Crows, they just seemed bigger and stronger, and they just more menacing.
Yeah, I think they definitely stood up from the beginning where, I think it was the third quarter when the Ds started to hit back, which I think they left their run a little bit too late. So full credit to Adelaide. I think they were the team to beat all year.
Now, we're going to have to let Amy go in a second, Scotty,
Is there an end of season trip or something, Cameron, surely?
End of season trip, Amy? No, they've got to get ready for August.
Yeah,
just
as
discipline.
If you don't enjoy end of season trips.
Any trips?
Have you had the blowout yet, Amy?
Oh, the last month has been pretty busy. We normally do an off-season trip end of May, start of June. So that's on hold at the moment until we do find out about the season, because I think we'll probably be having to get ourselves in shape by then. So it might be a larger end-of-season trip next year.
Oh, I like that.
Now, the main reason why we've got to let Amy go is she's got a couple of dogs in her backyard that need to be groomed, because Amy runs a dog grooming business. Give us a little plug. What's the name of it?
It's called Maisie and Me Grooming. My dog's Maisie, so the two of us just work out the back. So yeah, I've got a couple of dogs half done in the backyard. They're looking a bit questionable at the moment. Head on out there soon and finish them off.
It's a booming business. There's lots of cavoodle and oodles to be looked after.
Yeah, there's oodles of them.
Very good, Amy. Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations again on the best and fairest back-to-back now and on the season you've had, and good luck with the quick turnaround as we head into August and for that next season for the Cats as the team continues to improve.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Looking forward to next season.
They're building something, aren't they, the Geelong AFLW team, and possibly with the quick turnaround, Scotty, it could be good.
I agree with that.
Continuity.
There's momentum. It's going to be interesting because the standard has improved dramatically, but you're throwing in extra teams. You're poaching good players. It's going to be a real watch and see because, it happens in any comp. You spread the talent thinner. Yes, it's improving, but it might play in the hands of the Cats. If they can keep their team together, maybe sneer a couple of free agents.
There is a generation coming, though.
Who are completely ready to play straight away. I agree with that.
Yeah, they'll have an impact. No, great to chat with Amy McDonald. As I said, fantastic achievement. Back-to-back best and fairest winners.
You didn't do, Cameron. I was going to throw that in, but I just did anyway.
No, you know why you didn't throw it in? Because you're just saving all your nasty little snide comments for Brad Close when we chat with him.
I'm a little bit excited. It's like Christmas over here.
Brad Close is coming up very, very soon. But before we get to him, we want to get to some questions. Our listener questions are back, Scotty.
They've been waiting. They've been just building up like a tsunami.
Well, let's get stuck into as many as we can. Right, this one's from Larry. Max Holmes has improved his kicking skills greatly. What do you think his ceiling is? Huge Max Holmes fan.
Big engine. We like a tall midfielder.
Yep.
I mentioned he just keeps looking more like James Kelly by the minute and can play in different spots.
Yep.
He's already shown that. Chris Scott has been copping it and does cop it for not playing young players. He's played Max Holmes from day one. The kid's already probably over 20 games. He's a very good talent.
Yep. No, I agree. I've summed that up perfectly. Larry, I think we're both huge Maxi Holmes fans. Benjamin asks, would you have Brad Close in your current All-Australian team? Do we put that to him, or we don't want to jinx his season because he's starting beautifully?
But his goals are there, goal assists. Look, he's got to be in the top. In that specific half-forward flank.
Could I throw a little, this might seem ridiculous. I know we're only 4 rounds in. He's been Geelong's most consistent player across the 4 games.
Wow. That's potentially. Yeah, well, he was the only one who turned up against Sydney.
That's right. He was their best player by a mile against Sydney.
That's a pretty good statement there. So when you go to your All-Australian meeting and you throw Brad Close's name up, you've got to be strong.
Yes, except we meet at about round 12 because I need a little bit bigger body of work, but I will.
Right now, he's in the top 5 half-forward flankers easily. Probably top 3.
Ooh, okay. Brandon asks, is Jed Bewes underrated? Yes.
I think yes.
Across the competition, so I reckon internally he's highly rated. He does a job. You know what I think he's underrated for the fact he can get the ball and be a bit creative at times and is a nice ball user. Kicked the goal on the weekend. I think everyone just thinks he's the Dower lockdown one.
Oh, no.
Which
he's got leg speed.
He does play that role when he's asked to, but he can join in the attacking side of the game.
And you'd be surprised. He's been here forever. Hasn't he? You'd be surprised how long he's been on this list.
Yeah.
I haven't got it in front of me, but it's over a decade easily.
It's not a decade.
It would be. Hey, check it, see?
You know what? I'm going to do this on the run just because there is no way it's
a decade.
I would
tell you, Jed Bewes is between 8 to 10 years.
He's 28 years old, so you might,
Thank you.
might actually be close. Hang on.
Dave, I've got another one up on him.
So his first year was 2012.
10 years. Hello, anybody? Another one.
Good get by you, Scotty. He's played 103 games.
It's amazing how I pay attention to what goes on here. And you're a former captain of this club. You don't even know the next guest. You're blasé about Bewsey.
You are an idiot. I didn't think he'd been here 10 years.
He's been here forever. He was a slow burn early.
Yeah, early days. Didn't play
injuries
a lot of footy.
got him. He missed seasons with injuries. Very good player. Okay.
No, I'll give you that one. That's one you've got right for how long have we been doing the podcast? Take a guess at that.
3 or 4 years. 3, I reckon. At
5?
least 5. Yeah, could be. That's why we got rid of Zach, didn't we? Had to get a mutiny on Zach.
So in 5 years, you've been right once. That's good stuff.
I'll take that. It's a good start.
Next one from Adam. Cooper Stevens' debut on the cards? Question mark.
Well,
I would say given his VFL form.
Let's read out his stats line. The Cats won by 7 points. You were here for it was a
curtain raiser. I caught the probably last quarter and a half. And
they came from behind the Cat attacks.
Yeah, and Brisbane have got a good, called VFL. Yeah, VFL team.
They're stacked.
So Cooper Stevens.
26, 6 clearances and 5 tackles. Look,
the whisper is he has simply needed to get his body right and continuity of training. He's had a horror start to his AFL time.
Physical specimen.
He is, but he's had, I think it was ankles and just all sorts of just setback after setback.
Sparkle Knuckle, as we mentioned, going out. I mean, Joel will come back in, but I reckon he's next man up for sure.
This one's from Charlotte. What do coaches say to players on the phone? Is it advice? Well, Charlotte.
Advice.
On occasions, it's advice.
How is it?
On occasions, it's instruction to go out and do some coaching yourself out on the field. And sometimes, just sometimes, it is rather direct feedback about a recent bit of play that you were involved in.
Who provided you with your best? I mean, Bomber.
Bomber's one of the greatest
during
ever.
A game, in-game, on the phone?
Oh, yeah, immediate feedback. And usually, you know what Bomber was good at? He'd give it to, I'd have to talk to him on the phone. It'd be you and your midfielders, as though I owned and was responsible for the entire midfield group. Charlotte, let's just say if you don't have thick skin in a game of football and you get the phone handed to you, you may struggle with what you're about to hear.
I noticed a few of the newer coaches, and I think Sam Mitchell definitely, I think he has a phone man. And I think Chris Scott's not big on the phone either. Like someone does the messages more than him on the phone. Yeah. I like the old traditional phone. They're just hanging on to it. Like Stuart Dew and a few others just keep having the phone. Bring it up, yell, put it down.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to...
Some would have the headphones on so they can permanently hear the discussion taking place. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Charlotte, it can be brutal at times, but a lot of coaches, good coaches will more often, it's instructional, it's directional, it's what they want to see happen out on the field, but be ready just in case. Karen asks, I'm sorry, there's an M on that one. Is Tom Hawkins the best forward as of now in the comp?
Most consistent, best? Yes. Yeah, well, he is. He's better than Harry, won the Coleman.
Yeah, he's equal with the Coleman leaders right now. He's runner-up in the Coleman last year.
Who else have we got? He's clearly the best.
I think, I haven't got the stat in front of me, but he's kicking 50-plus goals every year for the last
score assists through the roof.
I think no doubt that Tom Hawkins is the best forward as of now. There's a young generation coming.
Yeah, Maxi King's coming with a hit, but he's got the rest covered.
Yeah, Harry Mackay, Maxi King. Hopefully Ben King gets
Aaron
a good
Norton.
run at it.
My man.
Aaron needs to work.
I mean, his only threat for the Coleman's probably his teammate.
Jez.
Oh, when Jez gets hot.
True. Lee asks, how far off do you think Shannon Neal and Ollie Dempsey are from debuting? Lee, I like it because they both did kick 4 goals in the VFL.
Oh, you already know this.
Yes.
Shannon Neal, 4 goals from 5 marks. Oliver Dempsey, 4 goals from 12 touches. I think they're a little bit behind a few others, but clearly they're showing lots.
Yeah, I think it's again time for them.
Which one have you? Where's the guy the chukker of this year? Who was that again?
Nick Stevens.
Yeah, I don't see his name.
He's not a brand newie.
He's not in the best. What's happened to your man? He's already fallen off.
Hang on, if he's not in the best 1 week, we should just write him off and think he's no chance.
Well, you got to be a consistent performer to get noticed and talked up on this podcast, like Chuka
playing his role. Derek asks, I'll make this the last one. Is it just us, or is Stanley being used more effectively this year, positioning to his strengths instead of shoehorning him into what we need for our team's structural aims? I noticed that Oscar McInerney...
Explain this to me.
Oscar McInerney McInerney
Not
missing
playing helped.
was a fantastic help because McInerney's a really quality ruckman. But Stanley starting the game, started in the centre bounce. Blitzarves on the wing. Stanley charged forward and they wanted to stretch the Brisbane defence. So they had Stanley, Jeremy Cameron, Tom Hawkins all down there and then even pushed Paddy Dangerfield forward. So 4 legitimate marking targets down there. Blitzarves floated and took the round the ground ruck for a bit. Then Stanley drifts up. I thought with McInerney missing, they really effectively tried to work over Darcy Fort. I thought Fort still battled it out really strongly and all that sort of stuff. But I think they used Stanley and Blitzarves really well.
So is Blitzarves back to Mr. Fix-It, is he? Is that what we're trying to tell me?
There was a bit of that on the weekend, yes.
So Henry and Kohler can hold down the bigger people. Who played on Joe Danaher?
Henry.
Okay, this is good.
I thought Collar Jasny was unbelievable in the last quarter in some of the most crucial moments, which is a huge thing for him, where he just looked calm and nailed the moments. I thought he was excellent. I thought that back line, I know they got scored against at times. You're playing against one of the best teams. But with Stewart late withdrawal with Gastro, they did really, really well.
No, I'm very impressed.
I can't believe you haven't mentioned our new favourite player too.
I'm keeping
Dave,
that.
Dave, he's just given us a little reminder. Sammy DeConing.
The kid,
Is it
as he's
DeConing or
known.
DeConing? I'm sure it's DeConing.
He's the
Thank you.
kid to me.
Sam-
And he continues to do exciting things. He's a genius. 5-1%ers. He led the team.
You know what I
The
loved?
kid.
His confidence and audacity to fly for marks when he was even out of position and plucked a couple. Love it.
I put him on the map.
You
And he's-
did.
I did.
Do you try and claim every single player
No, well,
that
you
plays
claim
okay?
Nick Stevens, Charlie Constable. I claim Brad Close, who became a superstar. And now I've claimed the kid, DeConing, who turned the game against Collingwood and then did it again against Brisbane.
All right, that's it. We got to take a break because I want to talk.
Oh, what's
to Brad
coming up?
Close.
Here he is. He's here.
He's
Have you
here.
met each other, you two?
Back with Brad and my peanut co-host very soon. Welcome back. It is great to have you with us on To the Final Bell. We are brought to you by Lake Imaging. Thanks for their support throughout this season. As promised, Scott.
Oh,
I know
I've been so excited.
Yeah, but you've been carrying on like a complete
No,
idiot.
I've just been, me and millions of Cats fans have been waiting for this moment.
Well, the
To
reason
bring two people together.
The reason why they've been waiting for this moment is because of the form that he's been showing throughout early in 2022. I speak, of course, of Brad Close. Brad, thank you for joining us.
No worries, fellas. Good to be here.
It is great to have you with us. Before I let Scotty loose on
You can
all
go for a
his
couple of
ridiculous narrative.
Dorothy Dixes.
Congratulations on your start to the season. It's been excellent. Why? I mean, I know that might seem silly, but have you just found that belief in yourself even more? Is it a great pre-season? Is it just the game starting to slow down a little bit for you? Can you put your finger on it, or are you just out there playing footy?
Yeah, I guess you could put it down to a few different things. A full pre-season this year, playing a bit more of a full season last year and just feeling a bit more comfortable with the boys. And I think our ball movement is starting to really flow and it's really helping us small and tall forward. So I think that'll really benefit us all.
So you've sensed that because we've seen bags of goals from the big guys alternating the weeks. Jez one week and then Hawkey. But as smalls, when it's coming in quicker, you love that. I know talls always love it. The smalls love it as well. So it's not about how I need to get set and I need to get work just in case the ball comes out. You want it in there with speed as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think if you look at blokes like Grime, myself, Lukey Dow and Ty Stengel, we're all pretty quick. So if we can beat our opponent in and get a little jump on them, just that more space inside the forward 50 is great.
Come on, Scotty.
Am I allowed to go?
Yeah.
Brad, how long was it since you got to the club before you met Cameron Ling? Who
Let him
obviously,
answer.
no,
Let
I've got
him
to set it
answer.
up better. I mean, you got here. Unfortunately, you were given a very high number. You're on the door. He'd been on the door of the locker. How long before Cameron reached out?
I think
Honestly, Brad.
we've bumped into each other a few times through cafes, obviously in the Charles and Co. or even I think it was Blank Space. We had a nice little chat one day, so we've bumped into each other around the place. But it's good to finally sit down and have a better chat.
So how many years you been at the club, Brad?
This is my third year.
Third season.
Okay.
Do your homework, Scotland.
So 3 years,
Research, it's
a
called.
legend, a premiership captain. What's it been like carrying his number? I mean, you would have seen the thousands of kids wearing it.
Can I jump in here? This is the reason why I didn't bump straight away. It's not my number. It's Brad's number. I simply wore it for a period in time.
We'll
It
get
is
to you.
his number.
What was it like, Brad?
Yeah, no, it's definitely Lingy's number, and I think everyone's across that. So there is a bit of pressure, but no, I'm very honoured to wear the 45, and yeah, love it for sure.
Well, I'm glad we could bring you together up to 3 years because Cameron been a bit slow off the mark. What advice did Cameron give you when you finally crossed paths?
We've had a bit of, I think even a couple of times on radio, we've had a bit of post-game sort of banter about the 45. So there's been a few things thrown in here and there, but there's been...
Play your own game. It's his
Did you
time. Just
ever
like it's all his teammates' time. He wears the long sleeves, which
I know, we've got to bring that up.
much better than I would wear the long sleeves.
Did you ever think of going into a smaller number, Brad?
Nah, I guess when you're the last pick in the draft, you get given the last number. So that's where I ended up. But no, I'm more than happy with the 45.
And the long sleeves, we saw short sleeves, didn't we?
We did, yeah. Round
One game?
Yep. It was
Take us through that.
So, I was tossing up all morning. I had so many people messaging me saying, geez, it's looking hot in Melbourne. What are you going to do? My folks were even asking. I thought, I'll run out in the warm-up with the warm-up singlet on and just see how it feels. And I thought, I can't go back out there in the long sleeve today. So I had to don the short sleeve, and it was different. And I did, cop a fair bit of criticism, I guess, from all the long sleeve lovers out there, and people thought I wasn't being loyal, but it's well and truly found its way back.
But you got a kick that day. Did you think, maybe I can do this more often, or no?
I guess I kicked a couple of goals, so it was something that I maybe thought maybe I play better footy in the short sleeve, but this Geelong weather's brought back the long sleeve pretty quick.
Can I tell you the history of my wearing of the long sleeve?
Did
really
you go
quickly?
with it?
So
Once.
The reason why I wore 45 here was I asked for it because I wore it 45 with the Geelong Falcons right throughout my whole time there. There was a day, my first year as a 16-year-old playing against the Western Jets, and I was full forward. I wore long sleeve because it was freezing cold, and that was the only time I ever wore long sleeves, because in that game, my full back who played against me was best on ground by a country mile. I reckon he took 15 marks, or he had 35 touches, and I don't think I touched the footy for the entire day. So from that moment onwards, I was never, ever wearing a long sleeve again. So I'm glad you're wearing them, though. Good to see the hoops out there.
The long sleeve will stay, I think.
And it's been since juniors. I know you've been asked this 100 times, but refresh us again.
I think when you're under 12s and stuff, you used to just chuck on the sort of long sleeve T-shirt under your short sleeve to stay warm, obviously kicking the dew off at 8 a.m. or whatever. And then moving up through the seniors and that, I think Mount Gambier's a pretty cold place, just like Geelong, and then through to Adelaide. So playing down at Glenelg's not that great during the middle of winter either. So it's sort of stuck,
Now, Ling, now that we've got Brad here and we're close up, Andrew Mackey would be happy to have Brad around, do you think? Do you think they share a similar lack of interest in the weights room?
Brad's got Mac covered by
Do you
him.
reckon?
Look, he's actually got definition in his arms and in his body. Mac has
is he a supporter of yours?
He is, I guess you boys haven't been down the gym lately. Mac's been hitting up the gym
No.
lately, so he must be, I don't know what
Are
he's
you
training
serious?
for, a photo shoot or something, but
Is he pushing a bit of tin?
Yeah.
Post-career, he's found them.
pipes only though, I think, so don't know how the legs go, but he's definitely in there doing a few pipes.
So what you're suggesting is that he will do anything to not do his work,
Not sit in the office, maybe, maybe that's what it is.
even something that he refused to do throughout his entire 15-year career. Okay, that's good understanding. Hey, you did mention, and I know you were joking, but last picked in the draft, you just got whatever number. But it doesn't matter what number you picked in the draft, is it? You got an opportunity and you're grabbing it. Is there, do you see young players come into the club, early draft pick, not saying they do or don't do the work or anything like that, but do you see a different type of hunger from players who get picked up later on, maybe rookie listed, whatever it might be, that I'm just not going to let this go? Because there's Tom Atkins is another great example, even Tommy Stewart, who's, multiple All-Australian player. Just seems like that burning hunger to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, for sure. I think even I guess, getting picked up later. You have those couple of years where you're sort of out of school and working full time and trying to play footy at the same time, studying. So I think you sort of, really appreciate the opportunity that you do have. And I know, the two Toms have trained really hard and worked hard to get to where they are. And I know all of us want to, stay in the AFL as long as we can.
Jack Henry, another one. He was rookie.
Yeah, he's a rookie.
Yeah, he's a good player.
What was the biggest shock when you arrived? Like you said, you did a different path to a lot. What was it like when you first got here and then tried to find your feet in AFL?
Yeah, I think the biggest shock was, I guess, probably thinking once you're out of your 18s, I guess most people think that's sort of your dream sort of over, I guess. And never thought that I'd sort of end up here. So I think it all sort of moved pretty quickly from playing in the SANFL. Then, you've got recruiters asking you a few questions and stuff like that. So it all did change pretty quick. And then I was on the flight to Geelong. So, since moving here, I've loved every minute. And, it's been a great club to come to.
And the country town, I mean, I know you've become good mates with Jeremy Cameron, sharing, fishing and various other things. Take us through that bond that's sort of, I gather you didn't know Jeremy much before he arrived?
Yeah, I only knew a little bit of Jeremy. His folks live in Mount Gambier, so he was born just across the the border. So I guess it's sort of a little bond of just being from the same sort of area. And, when I heard that he was getting the trade down, I sort of hit him up in the off-season, seeing if we could catch up. And once moving to the club, he's a great fella and easy to get along with, and loves the outdoors like myself. So, we get along well.
He's got the boat, hasn't he? He's got the biggest boat.
Not sure he's got the Patrick Dangerfield
Not
style
quite.
boat.
No,
But
Who's got the bigger
I
boat?
think Patrick's got the bigger boat now. I don't think you'd let Jeremy have the biggest boat.
when we're hearing stories that Jez was sleeping on his boat out in the middle of Corio Bay, or
Yeah, I think there was one time last year. It was his birthday. We'd agreed to go out the next day, and he goes, I might head out into the bay and spend the night out with his dog. And then he picked me up the next morning from the boat ramp, but he said it was the worst sleep of his life, so I don't think he'll do that again.
Just having some emotional time on his birthday. I love it.
Yeah.
Who's the better fisherman?
To be honest, I've been out with Jez 3 times, and we haven't caught a tuna yet, so I can't comment on his fishing skills.
it's a lot of just sitting and talking,
Yep.
or just sitting in silence.
Nah, radio on, sitting talking. I'm sure he would have loved to have a few beers out there, but in season doesn't really work.
Off field for you, are you still combining work or study or anything?
Yeah, still studying. So I've done. I did a couple of years full time of accounting and finance in Adelaide, and then just ticking off one subject at the minute. So it's pretty slow going now, but slowly ticking it off.
So got that good balance going. Living with teammates or living out on your own? Or?
Living with Collar. I've just moved out onto my own. So the partner's moved over, and it's going well.
You just had enough of Collar. Just had to get away from him.
I think he kicked me out. But
And what about Easter Monday? I mean, big game, big crowds. I mean, what's it like? Like we said, you've been here 3 years, just playing at the MCG. Finally, COVID's gone, 70, 80,000, whatever. I mean, what's that buzz like for a kid from Mount Gambier?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I think any time you walk out in the G, we had a few games last year with no crowds, and it's even pretty crazy to just look around and know that you're on the MCG. But with 80,000 people, I missed Easter Monday last year, so it'll be definitely something I want to tick off the bucket list for sure.
Who did you barrack for as a kid?
I was actually a Crows man.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
But my old man was Hawthorn, so I went to a few games with him.
Good era
Geelong,
for him.
You know how I've held back giving any sort of advice, and you're making your own career. There's just still one team you must beat every single time. Yeah. I think you can guess who that might be. No, keep up the outstanding form. We certainly love, as a Cats fan, love watching the way you play and the way that you've started this season. It was a terrific win on Friday night against the Brisbane Lions, and a massive game coming up this Monday. We really appreciate you taking time out of your training to come and have a chat with us, and for ignoring this
Brad,
peanut.
It's great to bring you two together properly. I look forward to catching up again and reporting back.
Brilliant. We'll have to set up a weekly coffee maybe.
Well, you're clearly keen for it, but anyway, we'll talk to Cameron about that.
I'm going to let him go.
Part of his
I'm going to let
academy?
him go because before we finish
closely
up,
part of the academy.
Well, what do you are a first to 4 year player,
I'm a
but
first
you're
to
a
four, yeah.
more experienced player.
So I'm in the academy, but bit of leniency where I. But I
You
am
don't have to
under
listen to
I am
Cameron's
under the
address.
Cameron Ling Academy. So.
Do you have a T-shirt or something? I'm keen to get
up.
a T-shirt. Okay. All right. Thanks, Closey.
See, now
Outstanding.
I got to put on my grumpy voice to Scotty just to get him to be quiet. Thank you so much for your time. Good luck this
Thanks,
week.
fellas. Cheers.
Fantastic chatting with Brad Close there.
The body language was interesting.
Why?
I just seemed a bit standoffish towards you. I think
You are
I've got to bring you together
are
again.
making stuff up. A terrific young man.
What a great player. Switched on.
Oh, geez, his season, the way he's started. I mean, he's shown glimpses last year. And it was an interesting question. You asked him. His first 2 seasons have been COVID seasons.
Yeah, exactly.
So that dream of coming to the AFL and playing in front of huge crowds.
He's been in hubs. But he's just, you could tell, and we were onto it, you and I, very early on, clean. Just clean. Players who are clean.
And his
keep their feet.
Skills are sharp. Like his kick, it spins really well and quick.
Just those little things you go, yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
And now he's now Stengel's come in underneath him. Like he's getting more, it's not senior, but he's feeling like this is my forward line as much as anyone's.
And he made mention of the changed game style, the ball coming
Suits
in
him.
quicker, suits every one of them. And the good thing is they're dining out together. So Jez Cameron kicks the bag against Collingwood. Hawke kicks the bag this week, but Close is bobbing up for a couple. Then Stengel kicks 4 in the first week. That's what a good forward line does. And
there's something brewing there.
Yes.
It's very impressive.
No, I like it. I'm glad. Well, I was going to say I'm glad you behaved a little. You probably didn't.
I could have been a lot worse. But I'm glad we finally got our man and you two at least have met each other.
Oh, he told you.
He said, we bumped in. So that's not Cameron dialing the number, desperately fighting the number, go, hi, I'm number 45. I'm the legend who had it. Do you need any help settling into Geelong?
Is that
I'm
what
your
you
man.
do to the Herald Sun young journos? You say,
Absolutely.
I run this paper, Rupert and
No,
I.
don't. Well, it's true, but I'll go, anything you need, I'm your man. He's had to find his own feet, battled away in this big metropolis of Geelong.
It is his time and his teammates' time.
Had people yelling at him over the fence, you're not Lingy. and you haven't even reached out. Anyway, I'm glad I brought you together.
On that note, we are finishing
Been
up.
a blockbuster show.
We are finishing up. It was good to chat with Amy McDonald, best and
What a
fairest
gun.
winner, AFLW. Great to chat with Brad and really appreciate all of our listener questions. Keep those coming in each week. We'll try and get to as many as we possibly can. As I say that every single time, there's a heap that come in and we can't always get to all of
but
them.
We will. Easter Monday, 3:20.
Yeah, that's one that still has that.
What are you doing?
I will be there for Channel 7.
Yes, I thought it's one of your favourite primetime games.
Yes, I enjoy that one. We better finish. Thank you, Scotty. Always great to chat with you. We will be back next week, hopefully after a Cats victory against the Hawks. Have a great week.